Hello and welcome to the B-Button! It's episode 32 and you lucky devils you. Because I'm your host Baron Marf and I'm joined as always by my compatriot in arms, the one the only, Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, actually managed to get a fair bit of gaming in.
Yeah.
Get some stuff achieved. That's the main thing, is moving forward.
Right, so this has been a week of progressive gaming.
Yes, with Destiny I've actually chipped up a few light levels. I mean, to be fair, I'd actually tried doing something that would get me some levels up, so it did help. But yeah, so getting there, I'm actually getting close to sort of having somewhat of a raid-ready character.
I hate to get really geeky here and do the number thing, but did you hit the 350 hump and then... slow down and try and get through it?
It was more the 353 hump. But no, last few days just hit some really good draws. Some strike keys have been, or skeleton keys, as I keep saying skeleton. Yeah, so I've obviously hit a few. Got my grasp of Malak, and that is an unbelievable pulse rifle.
Sweet.
So that was good. Hit a couple of 360 rifles up. Some really nice drops.
Man, you sound all buzzed about Destiny.
Yeah, well, it's the same old grind. I've changed my opinions and how I'm going to think of the game.
Yeah.
I'm not so bothered about gear and stuff now. Just go out and just
so
enjoy.
You've got all, like unagi.
Yeah, it's just I can't be fucked to chase around after the raids and the crews and have to be sociable and arrange things.
Hey guys,
and,
want a raid?
Yeah, I can't be bothered with that. I'm too far behind because all of the people that are going to be worth doing it with have all moved on. They're going to be hitting the hard mode up.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
I'll probably be able to get Sherpa'd through eventually. But yeah, I'm in no rush.
So you're just going to be some vagrant tag along at some point?
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. I'll take the shame.
Cool. So obviously Destiny's been playing a big part. I mean, I've been in there as well, but GTA.
Yes, finally hit the biker gang up. Well, I went on earlier in the week, pretty much not long after we recorded. I think it was the Monday.
Yep.
And I was just like, right, I've got a bit of money. Go and buy the gang. Go and buy the biker gang. Or the clubhouse, even, as it were, if I try and remember properly and remember my words. Yeah, so obviously got my clubhouse, went for the cheapest one because obviously I hadn't got lots of money.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't matter,
they
all do the same thing.
I like the idea because of the business that I obviously then went and got was just up the road. Nice. So I've got my weed farm just up the road and that works out really well. So that was good. Obviously, same old GTA update, so it's milk the fuck out of your money.
Yeah.
There's a lot to spend it on, but again, it's earning you money, so it's not so bad. It's not like a money dump like some of the cars are.
Yeah.
Other than that, bit of Forza Horizon 3, chipping a few more races. Yeah, it's just, again, I can put it on for an hour, sort of chip through a couple of races and do a couple of challenges and carry on with something else. So it's a good little game to just chip away at.
Sweet.
And obviously there is an awful lot to chip away at still, so
yeah, that'll
keep me going for some time. But pretty much that's it, other than some random mobile games.
Always.
The only one of note was Monsters Ate My Metropolis, which
cool.
Obviously it's the follow-up to the Adult Swim published Monsters Ate My Condo. But it's not a puzzle game this time. It's a card battler.
So this is done by
Pickpock.
Yeah.
Yes. So they've got loads and loads of stuff.
They're great.
They've done quite a few titles for Adult Swim.
Generally, anything which gets published by Adult Swim, I have a look at.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I download and play it for a while.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I think I've only the games that haven't come to Android probably be the ones I haven't played. But yeah, no, it's a good little game. It's a typical. Well, it's a bit harsh on the in-app purchases because you get new cards and it's a fucking rip-off to get new cards. But the battle system's sort of similar to Costume Quest. So you obviously select your card and then you'll have to do either tap the screen to get a bar up or tap the screen to get the circle in the circle, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. But the best thing about it is the win music when you sort of defeat and destroy the city.
Right.
Like the music after it's amazing. I'd implore. I'm not going to ruin it for anyone. You can find it on SoundCloud if you search out Monsters Ate My Metropolis SoundCloud. Then it will turn up there. But the Wind State music's brilliant. It's worth just downloading and just.
That's what you messaged me with, and you just like, check out this tune right now.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. I was cracking up every time I was doing it. Every time I was winning, it's just I'm gonna sit there for a minute and listen to it. It's just awesome.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much been the gaming week, other than work and TV and meh.
Mine's been really similar.
Yeah.
Really similar. Well, I've been on the Destiny with you. I've been on GTA with you. Forza, not so much, but do you know what? Forza, can I just quickly say, if you have got Forza 3, Horizon 3, and you haven't bought the Nomad, just buy the aerial Nomad and cry with laughter as you skid perfectly around every corner at a reasonable speed.
Or even better, go into a field where there's lots of plants and farming crops, and just start handbraking it around there and skidding around. Even better, go and tune it up so it's like an S1. Ridiculous. I've just finished tuning mine up, and the points you get off of that and the skills points you get out of it, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But solid games.
Great game. The other one I've been hitting up this week is a bit of Mario Party, Star Rush.
Well, you was eager to play it last week, wasn't it? You went and picked it up before we obviously recorded last week.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love a bit of a board game, to be honest.
Mario Party is always... that was the first game that I'd played an all-nighter. Literally, we started at 6 o'clock in the evening, and we got out, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning. It was hilarious, and that was a school night as well. So I got into some quite deep shit when my dad found out that I'd actually got in half an hour before he woke up.
That's hardcore gaming, folks. Yeah, at you.
That was awesome.
Back in the day.
But so Mario Party Star Rush.
It's like I said, that thing about just the dice rolls and all characters move at once.
Yeah.
Sold. Immediately makes the game a lot more interactive, and you feel like you're playing it all the time rather than just you have a go and then you wait for ages, which is the crappy side of board games.
Well, that was the problem with Mario Party in the length of time.
That's why you were there for 12 hours.
3/4 of the time you're watching somebody else move.
Yeah.
So no, it worked well then.
Yeah,
what are the mini games like?
They're solid, man. There's some really, really good mini games in there.
It's about 50 or so, isn't it? 50 or 60?
Yeah, there's a fair few. What I did like about it is a lot of the mini games are actual keepers, the kind of ones that you think, I don't mind playing that again, and I'm going to whoop your ass at that next time. And
quality.
There is a couple of bum notes on it, though.
There's always going to be...
No, I don't mean from a mini game point of view. I mean there is some real bum notes with the game design. So they've done some things where you can basically get partners who work with you. So you can maybe get Yoshi on your side or Mario or something like that. And when that happens, they basically just bump up everything you do. So you get extra moves every time you roll your dice. You get sort of extra damage in mini games,
so
or something helping.
They give you perks and abilities.
But the problem is if you get an unlucky roll, the person who gets to the first one then gets the boost off of that character, and then gets a lot of them or more of them. So you can get very quickly sort of pushed to one side. But either which way, still worth a play. There's loads of different game modes in it as well. Well worth a look.
And obviously, I don't know if you've had a chance to try out the share game function.
No, not yet. No, but I do like the idea of that.
Yeah.
So one cartridge, share it amongst 4 people.
Brilliant. Yeah,
that's what it should be.
Yeah, I think a lot more games should. I know obviously technology's been the hindrance, but should make more of an effort.
Yeah, definitely.
Get some co-op couch fun.
Damn right. We want our couch gaming back. Right, so let's bust on over to our Bullet Bills Big 3.
Yeah, I think we should. We should get going.
Let's do this. It's Bullet Bill's Big 3, baby. We've hit the news section. And as the news goes, what will be our first bullet hole, Link?
bit of an interesting development, I think. Obviously, Sony, they announced on Friday that they are re-entering the app market and the mobile gaming scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which obviously when we was looking through there made somewhat of a point that aren't they supposed to be anyway, because, you know, the PlayStation Vita. But it seems that they've forgotten about that they can develop games for it. But anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, so after leaving the market some years ago, because they did have this little initiative going before, obviously the PlayStation Go, do you remember that?
I try not to, yeah.
Yeah, but you had the weird Xperia Play as well and all of that.
Weird.
So obviously, yeah, they left that a few years ago and sort of dropped that. But they're looking to come back. So obviously looking for some cheap millions. Obviously, with the money that Supercell and companies like that have made from the mobile market, you can kind of see why.
So basically what they're going to do is like a roulette table. They're just going to sprinkle some money at some software and see which one hits.
Basically, I'd imagine. Yeah. Well, they've got a few IPs that they can utilise. Obviously, we've seen the Uncharted Jungle Run spin-off thing, didn't we?
We did.
So, you know, it's not a really a terrible thing. They've got some good IPs that could be utilised.
Yeah, and well, to be fair, actually, I think any point where they reskin a game with their IP over the top of it and claim that's a release, they can suck my balls.
Well, it's not going to be a flood of cheap titles, it seems. There's going to be 5 games released by the end or within the year ending of March 2018. So I'm supposing it's March next year to March 2018.
$47.99.
But yeah, that's obviously through their ForwardWorks department.
Right, okay.
So it's another little subsidiary.
I've never heard of them.
No, neither have I. But it's something that they probably started up and closed a few other departments and pushed them all into one. I don't know. I don't really keep up with the corporate restructuring of Sony.
No.
But yeah,
probably struggle to.
Yeah, to be fair. Obviously, it's going to be Japan first.
Japan.
And then other Asian territories to follow. Obviously, there's no word of Western releases as of yet, because we don't even know what titles they're going to be. But yeah, there's going to be 5 games, so hopefully 1 or 2 of them should reach iOS and Android and these shores.
So does this feel like they're just like trying to go, hey, you know Nintendo are doing it, so are we?
Somewhat, yeah.
It feels like it to me.
Yeah, it does somewhat of a reactionary thing. But then when you see that how much money Pokemon Go, even though obviously Nintendo have only got taken a small portion from that, but what it's generated for Pokemon sales.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
In general, so yeah, you can't really blame them. But
all right, well, watch this space, folks. Watch this space. Shifting over to our second bullet hole for this week, it's a bit of Battleborn news. So
it's back.
Do you remember Battleborn?
Wasn't that thing that Overwatch rip-off? Oh no, that was the thing that was overshadowed by
That's
Overwatch.
right, yeah. So it was a very similar style game released in the shadow of Overwatch, and as a result of it, nobody really bought it. But good news, because they're still trying to pump some life into this thing.
So they're trying to sell something that they couldn't sell, or sell you more something for something that they couldn't sell you the first time round.
You got it, yeah.
Gotcha.
So I guess you would call it trying to put the shit back in the horse, and I don't know how successfully they're doing it. So this is Atticus and the Thrall Rebellion. It's a single player or story driven, not single player, sorry, it's a story expansion to the storyline. It was a very weird trailer for it, very set in a sort of LA noir-esque kind of, I don't know,
1930s. He's a gumshoe, see?
Yeah, but funny enough, the game's, that was just a trailer. The actual game's just what just with more storyline. Don't know what I think about it. Especially 2K's approach with it is what was a little bit more concerning.
Well, obviously, I've not bothered playing it. I wasn't really interested in it at all.
And now?
I'm just as uninterested.
Yeah.
It doesn't even promote any extra or lack of interest for me. But you obviously were a purchaser and a player.
Yeah.
Briefly. Until you got all of the shit you wanted out of it, and then you stopped playing it, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to unlock all the characters, try them out, decide which one I like the most, so I could stop playing it.
On a 1 to 10, how excited are you now to... Did you get the season pass?
Of course, always.
So you don't... there's no extra expense now.
No,
no
just,
expense was spared.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just reaping the benefits of my my season pass.
Initial investment.
Yeah.
It's now coming into fruition.
Yeah. So is this going to make me turn it on and play it?
Well, what I was going to ask was, is this going to stop you playing either A, Destiny, B, GTA, C, Forza, D, any other of the 150 games that you've got on your Xbox?
Yes. So I can honestly answer that very clearly with one word to capture all 4 questions. No. Absolutely not. But the thing is it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game at all. I think I'm almost doing it out of the principle of the matter now because, and I quote, Strauss Zelnick of 2K basically said that 2K will continue to drive engagement and recurrent consumer spending on the title through add-on content and virtual currency.
Was this from an investors meeting?
No, this was to the press. This is the way he's saying, "Hey, don't worry, we're still supporting this game." Basically, what they're saying to you is that they will continue to make people enjoy their game or engage with their game, and to basically make you spend money on it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I think a bit of a misstep, really, with the whole angle of that statement.
It really makes me to want to not play it at all.
No, it sort of makes you say,
I'm part of the corporate machine.
Like there's an oily film of wretchedness.
Yeah, and it's all over me.
It's almost like you showered with Donald Trump.
All wrong. And probably falsely. Anyway, yeah.
I again, to back up the point, Telltale, obviously Batman Episode 3 is releasing obviously in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
So that's 25th of October. We picked that up. Will that be Battleborn or Batman?
So, without a doubt, Telltale Batman all the way. I played the first episode. Second episode's already out. I haven't played the second episode, and I'm not going to play any more. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to all come out.
Ah, that's right. I remember.
Then I'm going to buy the first. I'm going to replay the first episode and then just play the thing all the way through. Because it's really good, but I just want to do the whole experience.
Yeah, no, good shout.
And a Batman.
So
cool.
Battleborn's got more of a chance than Batman then?
No.
You're going to do the same thing with all the story DLC. You're going to wait for it to all come out.
Yeah, and then not play any of it all at once. Right, busting over to our third bullet hole for this week. What we got, Link?
Well, something then that you've probably got more of a chance of playing before Battleborn.
Definitely.
Even with the news of a delay for Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Obviously, Friday the 13th is still going to be on Friday the 13th.
That's convenient.
That's not been delayed, but the game has.
Right. So the day, no, the game, yes.
Yes.
Nailed it.
So it was supposed to release at the end of this month.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's obviously been delayed.
Do we know how long it's been delayed for?
Well, it's a somewhat of a weird fractured delay, because there's new stuff being added that wasn't there going to be originally, or wasn't going to be there originally, if I can use my words properly. Struggling today, really struggling. But obviously, Wes Keltner, one of the co-founders of the company, he said, obviously, as a roundup of what he said, obviously the delays are no easy matter.
That's right, they're not Wes.
The positives, though, do outweigh the negatives, which I can see why. Obviously, there's going to be a new single-player element to it now.
Okay,
so that's obviously one of the reasons for the delay. So it's been pushed back now to early 2017 for the multiplayer section. Then we're going to see the single-player in the summer, which I like the idea of. The single-player comes out in the summer when it's camp season.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, I'm just trying to... Yeah, I know, it's not working. But yes, obviously, then we're going to get beta at this later this year, though. Well, there will be a beta. I don't know if console players will get a beta.
Right. So, I don't know, this feels like to me that somebody went, okay, we've done some really brutal murders. We've captured it all on a video game. We've got maybe some levels. Is that a game? Is that guys? Is this like a £50 game? No, it's not.
Well,
so what are we gonna do?
Well, the price has gone up for it.
Oh, really?
It started out as a $30 digital download.
All right.
So it's moved up to $40.
It's not a huge hike, really.
No.
I mean, I know it's like a third, but
for a few extra characters, you've got Tommy Jarvis is going to be involved now, and obviously with the single player element, which obviously they secured some more funding, so they got that. So they're aiming to make a bigger game. Obviously, as to paraphrase Wes again. I don't know. I don't think it's a terrible thing that it's delayed if it can make it a better game, or like you say, an actual game as opposed to just
a collection
demo.
of a
brutal murders.
Yeah, exactly.
A fine example of someone that's an animator that's now going to be somewhat more disturbed than when he started. Because I think after seeing that, because animating, you're looking at it again and again and again. Well, you'd be very desensitised to it.
They're dead inside now. they're just husks of human beings.
If the crunch isn't bad enough.
Yeah. Oh well, okay.
But yeah, so we're going to see that next year. Hopefully, we'll get some news for the beta coming later this year.
Are you interested in this?
I'm intrigued. It's piqued my interest.
I think I kind of want to play this game, but it's that whole thing about seeing the bottom of the barrel. I just want to know how brutal it can be, and then I'm probably going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And also, there's one golden rule that I've said always about this game.
Well, it's the golden rule of any sort of scenario that way. As long as you're faster than the person next to you,
no,
you're fine.
No, that wasn't the point. No, you've got it all wrong. I personally only interested in playing it if I'm Jason.
All right, yeah.
I don't want to be running from
you
my
don't
life.
Want to be stalked.
This will be the sound most of the time if I'm playing as the stalked person. Oh god, oh god, oh no. So yeah, I don't want to do that for hours on end. I want to be like, now I'm gonna get you, bitch.
Well, because again, if it's I think it was an 8-player game, so one person's Jason and there's 7 people. You've got a 1 in 8 chance of being Jason, or you've essentially for every 8 rounds you're going to be in once.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 7 ways of say the average game's 5-10 minutes. That's an hour of just tension and.
I will be the guy who falls next to a jackhammer and a buzzsaw and a garden rake and a pitchfork and a cheese grater, and this guy,
I've solved it for you. I know how you've got to play it. How do you play it all?
Run,
go big
bitch.
or go home. Just like that guy from Jason Goes to Manhattan. The boxer hammers and starts taking him on. But he was face onto him. There's no jumping out on me and hacking me up from behind. I'm going to try and punch you in the face. Yeah, I'll get my head punched off. Who cares? The terror's gone.
Wait, no, I care. Yeah, I care.
Yeah, but again, you're dead. Yeah. There's nothing I could do now. I could just sit back and enjoy, make a cup of tea and relax.
Link, I feel we digress. Right, okay.
Move on.
Let's wrap this shit up and quickly move over to the beef. Ooh, it's what the beef, Chief? What's going down, man? So basically, I have some concerns. I've gone out, I've made the decision to invest in a PS4 Pro. So I'm day one, deposit is down, ready to collect upon release, right? And something's been niggling me, and it's been bothering me. And I've been sitting there thinking, is this just a slightly more powerful PS4, and what's happening with the Scorpio, and is it 4 teraflops versus 6? What difference does that make? Is this an interim console?
There has been an awful lot of back and forth between and a bit of gutter sniping.
It's been dirty.
It's been some good old classic console war sort of propaganda.
Smiling through your teeth at each other.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like you say, all of this thing is concerning me really, to be honest.
The power one's the one that's been rattling around in my head. So you've got PS4 Pro, and obviously Sony haven't taught teraflops because they don't want to for a reason. And when you go to websites which sort of drill down a little bit more into the actual technical spec of the consoles, they say it's about 4.5 teraflops.
Yeah.
For the PS4 Pro, and obviously Xbox are waving it around, going ours is 6.
Yeah.
So I'm getting concerned about what the difference is. That's like 50% more power than the PS4 Pro. That sounds like a lot of power. It always used to be in the previous generations that Sony tended to have the more powerful console.
Well, they always used to do an awful lot of work on the processor.
Yeah. And all the cell stuff that they had in the PS3.
The motion engine from the PS2. And
exactly.
Which I think, was it some dictator actually was banned from buying them, or I think it was Iraq was banned from importing PS2s because you could take the cell from that, the processor, and you could link them, and you could then make it into a supercomputer, and you could power nuclear weapons with them.
That was well, I don't think it's quite to that extent.
But you could then use the infrastructure of that system.
Yeah, so it's the PS3, and it was the cell architecture in that one.
Well, I know the Air Force bought a few to make a simulator from it, didn't they?
They were saying that basically the chips that they were using it were pretty much the same as they were using their guidance chips and their missiles, which is not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would kind of hope that something which puts a very pretty image on a screen and makes it move and react and has effects is probably working harder than the missile tracking system has to. I hope. I like
the idea though that someone from logistics.
Because my games glitch out a lot. Yeah. Right.
I'd like the idea from someone from logistics who's gone, looked at some spec sheet and gone, wait, how much are we paying for this one that we're putting in the TX42? Oh, we're paying $7,000 a chip. We could just buy like 1 million PS3s and just take the chips out of them, and they'd cost like, we could get a deal on everything. Yeah, I know a guy at Sony.
Yeah, good price.
I just love that it's just almost this, but fuck it, let's just do that.
But this time, no one's going to be buying them, Link. No one's going to be stacking them up because
we've digressed and we should get back on point.
Yes, we have. But generally, it seems like it's underpowered. Everything at the conference when they announced it, they basically were just saying it does great HDR. It supports 4K. Well, it's just like.
I think the power's there is for upscaling.
Yeah,
and for extra texturing.
But it's not. It's not saying, hey, here's a whole new generation of console. Here's where your money's going. We're upping the power. We're bringing out sort of next level stuff. If anything, Sony were very much pitching it around keeping it a community and like an ecosystem of its the PS4 sort of era. So it's just like, what's going on? And I'm getting all agitated about it, Link. I don't like it.
I think you may be looking at it I think Sony are going one way and Microsoft are going another. Sony are, if they could have called it the PS Plus or the PlayStation 4 Plus, they would have, but they've unfortunately used it for their network. Because that's all it is. It's for me. Here's a cheap reason for you to buy a 4K TV. Have you seen our range of 4K TVs? They're lovely, especially this $2,500 one.
Yeah.
That's the cynical part that I keep looking at. Whereas Scorpio, I think, is a reaction to how far behind the Xbox got because of the power problem, and they've just gone, fuck it, big dog.
But let's put it to you like this then: if you have no intention of going out and buying a TV which either has high dynamic range or supports 4K, why would you even entertain a PS4 Pro?
I wouldn't. I'm not interested in even the Scorpio, to be honest. Because at the moment it's a 6 teraflop console. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't know anything about the Scorpio yet, and we, the only things we've heard is 6. Well, we know what the architecture is supposed to look like.
It'll be pretty much a PC in a box.
Yeah, a high-end PC, a current high-end PC.
But don't forget, by that time
it won't be.
DirectX 12, or was it 11? I can't remember which one's supposed to be the new one, which is going to be fantastic. But obviously the new ranges of graphics cards and the new architectures, and obviously AMD are doing some really insane stuff with their memory lay, how they lay it up and on the boards and stuff, and it's all far too technical and beyond me to either understand or explain it. So I'm not going to try. But obviously this time next year technology will have moved on.
Yeah, no doubt.
So we'll have to see what the price point is.
So some of the concerns for me is that we're going to end up in this dual generation sort of era.
Well, what happened when the 4 and the Xbox One released, when we're seeing where there isn't the transition rates and console sales, then you need to keep releasing your games on the older consoles to then keep the sales up.
We've got it with Destiny at the moment.
Yeah.
So up until their next release, we believe, everything has had to support previous generation.
Well, Rise of Iron obviously is the thing. It's obviously they've kind of ditched last gen now.
Oh, sorry, in Rise of Iron they did it. Right, okay. But either way, they've been limited by the previous generation's capacity.
And it massively shows within the design of the game and how it runs and how it's had to run.
Yeah, it runs like... when you're in a world, it's fine. But getting in between, it's a pig.
Well, it's one of those ones. Say you've got a bounty to do on the moon, just a cosmodrome or something like that. You've just quickly got to go down and just do some bounties, or to patrol, sorry. You do that in 5 minutes and, right, you're done. Well, you've probably taken longer to load, to go to the tower, to get your bounty, to then load out into orbit, to then load into the moon, to then load out of the moon, to then load back to the tower.
But that's the big part of that comes down to design as well.
Yeah.
But it's also the limitations of what the consoles can do, you know.
So yeah, I mean, to, like say, go back to the problem, will we get the return of this dual gen?
But the thing is like I said, the PS4 Pro just looks like it's trying to say, hey, we can take what you've already got and make it look nicer.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got a so-called, not next generation, but a mid-generation console. And the value proposition starts to become a bit like, really? Do I need it?
Well, it does seem that it's... Yes, the price point's pretty good. It's $350. It's not a giant leap from it's £90 more than the Slim.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a great deal more. But when you factor in that you're going to have to spend another £700-800 on a 4K TV that might not even have HDR, then it's starting to look a bit not necessarily a cheap option.
Everything that Sony seems to be doing at the moment seems to be expensive. I mean, like, you look at the PSVR. It's I know it's the cheapest of headsets out there, but it's still 350 quid. Yeah. That's a console, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's another issue really as well, isn't it? Because do you almost feel compelled that if you're going to get the VR, you should get the Pro? Because even though they claim that it's not in any way there to boost the Pro. It
was one small little comment from Mark Cerny, the whole thing where he kind of went, we believe we will see higher frame rates.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, well, guys, you know, what are you doing with it? It all just feels very messy. I mean, I personally, I would rather people just be a bit more like, we're leaving that behind, we're moving on.
Yeah. Well, I think this is like it's not the same structure that Microsoft are going for, because it does seem that it's very much a supplementary thing, and it's not in any way an example of when the PS5 is going to come out or what that's going to be like.
Yeah, how long is this generation then? So, you know, I mean, they alluded to it again in the conference Mark Cerny did. He said, you know, releasing this mid-generation. Well, we're 5 years in now. Was it 4 years in on the PS?
Was it 2014?
2014. Oh, really? We're not that far in then. Either way, we are mid-life according to him.
Mm.
So that means however long you've had your PS4 for, 444, is equally how long we're going to see this PS4 Pro last, and then
well, if you can extrapolate
next console.
If you can extrapolate from that, though, isn't it? It's mid-cycle, so then you've only got another 2 years, 3 years for the Pro to be useful. So then they're going to bring out one again in another few years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it does. It's coming back to this sort of how it's talked about with the shortening of and Phil Spencer's talked about the shortening of the generations, and with this Apple sort of system where it's every shorter amount of time, but they're incremental updates, so it's slightly better technology to keep up with the PC market, sort of thing. That I'd rather just a modular console, to be honest.
Yeah,
I really would.
Yeah, let me pull bits out and stuff.
Well, you need this £150 upgrade. Well, if I've spent £350 on a console, in a couple of years, if someone says, here's £150 or £175 upgrade, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that.
That's fine. But if they then go, in a couple of years, another £350, that one's obsolete now, well, that's pushing it too much. Environmentally alone.
Nice touch.
But look at the problems that you've got with fucking old technology, and the scores and tons of it being just thrown away, which is why you see all of these recycling fucking places that are getting all the precious metals out of them, and making a business from it. But going back to the point, I don't like this idea that it's going to be this. Oh right, we know you sort of worked hard to earn that money to pay for that one, but can you just touch your toes a moment, and you may feel a little pinch.
Yeah.
It does. It almost seems smacks of that.
So, if you're the type of person who's going to sit there and go, do you know what? I'm not buying your every 4-year iteration of console. So maybe I'm only going to do it every 8 years, like I did previously. Does that then mean we're going to end up with fractured camps of, I've only got this console, so I can't play that game, or Sony's pushing it from the whole, you'll always be able to play both games, but I can't see developers being able to easily implement amazing stuff which they can then turn off for a less powerful console.
Well, this is it. I think Microsoft will struggle with this more with the Scorpio, with the difference in power, because you'll have such an astronomical leap. It'll be harder to do. But Sony's is, from what I've seen and what I've read from developers and Mark Cerny, is the extra grunt is there just purely to add for textures and upscaling to 4K, because it can I think it can handle 2K or like 2.5 at a certain percentage of resolution, and then it upscales the rest. But then it's the obviously the fidelity with the textures that it improves a lot, and that's where the extra power goes. So if you then take that away, like, it doesn't impact the original PlayStation 4 game, which is supposedly a lot of games you should be able to then, it doesn't matter, you can put it into the PS4 Pro, it'll download a patch, and it then has the updated resolutions and texture files or whatever.
No bollocks, they should just have to delete a file if it goes into the other one. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's where, because they don't want to face a problem where, alright, I can't buy VR because I haven't got a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I know, and that's why you've got a weak ass virtual reality headset comparative to the rest of the generation which are out at the moment. And you've also got like this middle generation console, which is all a bit. I'm nervous, Link. I'm nervous. So, final thoughts then. Have you got any answers on how to resolve?
Like the Sony lacking power thing, I would say yes, probably in the long run, but they've hit the right price point for me, because it's not overly expensive. It's only, like you say, we talked about that, it's £90 more than the base model. So the price is right for me, especially if you've not got a PlayStation 4. It's a good time to dip your toe in. As to the sort of second point, dual games, hopefully not. If we've got the new tech, use the new tech. I've even said, when I had a fucking 360 and everyone was on Xbox One, there's no point buying Destiny for the Xbox One because it's an Xbox 360 game. The only reason why I actually have Destiny on my Xbox One is because I managed to get it in time where it didn't cost me anything to download it for the Xbox One. But I don't want to see that generation thing, that dual fucking gen game shit. Third point, obviously, short gens. Hopefully the generations still last about 3 or 4 years, so it's not too much of a pinch on the old wallet. And the last point, if you're going to do this whole fucking every 2-year generation, keep them into a singular ecosystem. So if I can play my Xbox One games, when I buy a Scorpio, I can play my Xbox One games and my fucking 360 backwards compatible games. And the same way that iOS and Google Play do it is, oh, I've bought a new phone that's faster. Well, great, you can just download all of the stuff because it's still the same. It's not on this new firmware and all of this bollocks, it's just a single system. If that then happens, I can still be in parties with people. I can still interact and still keep my group of friends, and whilst I may not be able to play alongside you, I can still be social. That's the important thing for me. They can do those all 4 things right, I'm okay.
So, do you know where I'm at with this?
More power.
Grow a fucking pair. I mean, yeah, just more power. Yeah, exactly. I want to see them go balls to the wall and just go, do you know what? Bollocks, we're done with this generation. We're going to really up it. We're going to power this up to the hilt. We're going to make this thing look phenomenal. We're going to try and compete with the PC market when we release, not, at the point where we announce it. We're going all the way. And it's never going to happen because it doesn't suit enough of the community, sadly. But that's because I'm one of these people who wants more power. I just want it to look as shiny and as pretty and as fast and as smooth and as glistening as it possibly could ever look, and then I'd be happy.
Obviously, I know we're trying to obviously sum up to close to move on to the Uncharted, but I've just had a little tinkling of a thought pop into my head. Have Microsoft jumped the gun with the big dog? With the 6 teraflops? Because will they, trying to keep costs down, which any manufacturing process will they miss out on the new stuff, the new architectures with the graphics cards? Because the stuff that, like the 6 teraflops, you can get that out of stuff like the old generation stuff if you utilise it properly. But I don't know.
It's just a quantity throughput of data, and at the moment they're just going, look, mine's bigger than yours.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Good. That's what I want, because I want that obnoxious. Look how big and shiny. I've put underlighting on this bitch. It's got a go faster stripe. It's got a well tell. We put some subs in the back, and
it's now on hydraulics, and it's fucking flipping around in your bloody cabinet.
Exactly that.
Like a big dog.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm looking for. If I don't get that lowrider console.
Well, I'm sure someone I'm sure there's someone out there that has probably modded an Xbox like that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I should
it's
be
not a great leap.
It's the way forward. It's the way forward, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, look, let's wrap this bitch up and move on over to Uncharted.
I think we should. I think we've settled that well.
Yeah, good work. Good work. Uncharted territory. This is a place where we like to just ramble around. We're a bit like Wombles at this point.
I always like the term wax lyrical.
Yes, wax lyrical. Generally just talk shit, really.
Well, I always do that. It's just we're
classifying it now.
Yeah.
This is the talk shit section. In fact, I was quite impressed at quite how many tangents we hit in our What's the Beef Chief. So
yeah. It did seem somewhat confusing, didn't it?
Yeah, I've confused myself. So, okay, GTA, the Phoenix game, is back again.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what? DLC's come out. It's a Biker Gang DLC. We talked a little bit earlier on in the intro. It's another release. Now, usually when GTA does something like this, I'm on that patch straight away. I'm playing it. That download straight away. I'm on it. I'm playing it. This time, I wasn't quite as eager beaver to get on it.
Destiny and Horizon and Gears have got in the way.
Yeah, completely took over. But usually I'd be chomping at the bit with GTA. But we got on it.
I think it was good that we tempered and didn't rush into it.
Yeah.
But no, I've really, really enjoyed it.
Some good content.
Yeah. It's nice to see the bike's getting some love.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the whole way that they've gone about with the clubhouse, and you actually use the clubhouse.
Yeah,
it's a bit frustrating, but it stops that whole thing with cooldowns because it takes you a bit of time to get
Yeah,
back and forth.
so you can't just like call in the jobs anyway. You have to go back to the clubhouse to set
Yeah.
up a mission, basically.
Yeah, it's really good fun. I like the design of the bikes. There's some cool, different, a lot of variation with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, I was like, "Ooh, I'm not sure if there's going to be enough in these bikes." I saw the selection, I was like, is there enough there to keep me interested? And I always go back to I just said it before, but power, so which is
the fastest bike.
Yeah. But eventually, after that all simmered down, and I started sort of playing around with some of the bikes and just like putting different body kits on them and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, I could get into this. It's pretty cool. And there is something very cool about just caning around on a bike and going in formation.
Yeah, that's little touches like that, though, isn't it? I love the whole thing that you've got. Obviously, your prospects and your road captains and sergeant at arms,
Vice presidents.
If you've got a prospect and they abandon the gang, then it could instantly mark them for death. So all of your other obviously road crew will go out and fucking stomp this cat.
Yeah.
It's little things. I mean, there are a few negatives for me. I'm still disappointed that they didn't allow for more stuff in private lobbies, because I think there's ways they can go about it. Because I can understand they don't want people being able to drill it and grind the shit out of it, make a fuck ton of money. But at the same time, they can just add more AI.
Mm-hmm. Well, on a positive note, one of the peculiarities I experience whenever I play GTA is it takes quite a long time to load in. But that's normal on GTA, but it seems longer on mine. And the reason being is because it seems to be searching for lobbies and deciding that I can't go in any of them. And then sets up a public lobby which nobody can join other than the people who...
You've invited all your friends,
yeah. So we've had the pleasure of being able to sort of fill up my warehouse.
Yeah.
And I know this is slightly off topic from our biker DLC conversation, but we managed to sell it yesterday, which was a great relief because we had a few people in the party to do it.
Yeah, that was a good little mission. Oh, it's a shame you didn't have your old Pontiac or whatever. I can't remember what it's called in GTA.
Yeah.
Needed to get your Burt Reynolds on.
Yes. Yeah.
Needed some fucking Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Should have done it. But yeah, I mean that was 2,145,000.
Do you know
GTA
when you signed off yesterday? I was like, oh no, I'll do. Whilst I'm in this lobby on my own, I'm gonna quickly sell my shit in there. See, trying to earn some more money to buy another business to go with, obviously on my motorcycle crew.
Yeah.
And within seconds, I mean, I shit you not, seconds. I was in a chopper. I flew. Landed the chopper and got out and I just noticed that someone's died. I was like, what the fuck? How many people are in this lobby? And there's like 8 people. And you're just like, I'm not selling nothing tonight. Yeah. Not a chance.
I'm out. See you later.
Yeah, that was it, mate. Straight out.
Yeah, you just can't join the lobby. Them's the rules.
Because that's the thing though. There's, I love that. It's mayhem and it's chaotic, but it's just sometimes when you've got 2 million that you've spent God knows how long fucking working for, and some asshole just comes and fucked you he just shits on your fucking parade.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't be dealing with that.
We had 3 trucks, and over 3 trucks, so it was 2.1 million.
Yeah.
So if somebody wrecked one of those trucks, the level of investment that you'd be losing would just turn you cold. Do you know what amazed me was yesterday when we all jumped on it, there was about 4 of us playing it, and we were just doing some basic missions, going from point to point. And inevitably shit happens, like you're caning along the motorway together and somebody goes veering off or somebody tries to overtake you and crashes into you, or it's just amazing how good a laugh that game still is.
It's still for me, the best value game. If you can buy one game for this console, this is the game you buy.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much to do, and even when you get bored of GTA, like the same way I can do it in Horizon, I can just drive around. That just the thrill of keeping just that sweet spot where you're pushing it a bit too far and it's just on the limit. And I just
the car mechanics have always been phenomenal in GTA.
They're not realistic in any shape, way or form, but they're good fun.
They're movie realistic, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally done in a way to make it so you feel as badass as you can possibly feel. The
Yeah.
same way that Destiny does with just shooting.
Yeah, where you shoot it with somebody's shoulder and it takes their head off, and you're
Yeah.
like, amazing, I'm a badass.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think of things like? I mean, I know we mentioned about it earlier on, but you're a lead, so I don't. For you, it's probably just riding, but formation sort of riding.
Well, that's it. I've not been in formation when I'm not lead, so I don't know what it's like, because you can obviously do. You've got open formation, whereas like you stay roughly the same. You can't get any faster than the lead, but you can keep up with him and sort of in and out and jockey about a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that was getting frisky, because a couple of our obviously fellow crew members were somewhat vigorous in their attempts to dispose me of my presidency.
Yeah.
Or at least my seat, at least my position on my bike.
Kick him.
So yeah, it was good that I could change him and then just hold out in the lead. And what was it, Smithy? He just couldn't understand why he couldn't go faster than me.
He so basically his intention was to just cane it up and go straight past you and be like, nah.
Smoke your ass.
Yeah. Of course, what happens is if you are, say, doing, I don't know, 100 and I pull up at doing 200, I will instantly drop to 100, pretty much ripping like my skull off of my spine. But yeah, and you stop dead and just you're stuck behind you, pootling along at whatever 20 miles an hour.
Great fun with the Fagio.
Yeah.
It's just like Fagio speeds.
Fagio looked amazing.
But I did find out though, you absolutely cane it when you do the fucking wheelies on a Fagio.
Yeah.
It proper rips. I was like, how fast am I going? It's like 80 miles an hour or something stupid.
Yeah, it's awesome. Especially when you've got all the mirrors on it as well.
Oh, that is... if I wasn't squirreling away money like I always have to on GTA, then I'd be all up in that.
Yeah.
Because I'd still keep 2 Fagios.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, businesses, they're there.
Yeah, we were talking about we're getting slightly paranoid. Well, I am a bit now. It seems that someone's listening.
Yeah, every time we mention something that GTA... Well, here we go. Casinos. Put casinos in. Make sure there's roulette and blackjack.
And poker.
And poker. 5 card. And 3 card. Casinos.
Yes. But yeah, they've started to put the stuff in that they needed to make it a bit more interesting.
Can I just say casinos? Right, so, yeah. No, they have. They started to, and it seems like they're listening, because we were like putting businesses where we're going to have money. So how do the businesses work? Talk us through that a little bit, because for those of us who haven't downloaded it yet, what's the benefit of buying a business?
They're very similar with the warehouses, if you've obviously played the CEO stuff. So you've got to then buy a property or a business. So you've got various illegal activities like narcotics. So obviously it goes from weed to methamphetamine to cocaine.
I'm on cocaine at the moment.
Cocaine. Obviously you've got document forgeries, counterfeiting operations. So obviously various amounts of money that you have to spend on them. But then you have to supply them or get supplies for them. So it'd be a case of going off and either stealing from the police or some other gang, or purchasing...
like the police are a gang.
Yeah, or gang, or another gang. So yeah, you can either buy them and fill up your supplies that way, or you can go and rob them from somewhere. Yeah. And then it's a case of letting it idle over, basically. You stuff it just ticks over.
In your case, just grow an immense amount of ganja.
Yeah, didn't grow fast enough though. But then you can get upgrades to increase production with help security, and more staff so it goes quicker and you get a better quality product, that kind of stuff. And then eventually you'll then have to sell your product. So much in the same way with the CEOs, you then got to set up a delivery system. So
do you think that GTA are providing a service in teaching children about business economics?
Well, it's, business or narcotics distribution.
I mean, yes,
101.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is a Breaking Bad element to it, but you know, I think they've got a value-added service that I really appreciate.
If I was to side with the defence, I would probably make the point: we're not doing anything that the internet or that TV hasn't already taught our children. So yeah, I'm taking that line. I don't know. I think it's great, and I think what it's showing me is the next gen GTA. Because we're not going to get it on this console. This will be like a Project Scorpio one. Will be immense. Well, it fucking should be.
You're so... See, it's good. That's how we should be. That's how we are as a race. You're always looking to the future. What's the next mountain to climb? Amazing. What about... So, I thought this was going to be my final thought of the day, but I realise there's something a little bit more upsetting that we need to discuss as a final thought. But I noticed that there's some new weapons as well. Yeah. Got some stubbies.
Well, again, you need some stuff that you can use on the bikes.
So I've always been happy with my shotgun on a bike.
Yeah.
You know, Terminator 2 style, blammy.
Yeah.
And there is nothing more satisfying if you can catch like the windscreen of a car coming towards you, bam,
just
as they
pepper
go past.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But you know, any of the new weapons catch your interest?
Well, again, I was trying to save money, so I only bought the shotgun, a little stubby shotgun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's got a kick on it.
Yeah,
and it carries distance as well.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good spread.
Yeah. The mini grenade launcher, that is awesome. I mean...
I would have been instant purchase if I, again, wasn't trying to squirrel money. So that was frustrating, but I know that's going to be good fun.
Yeah, well worth a go. Final thought for me, and it's a sad thought, it's a sombering thought, and it's a mourning and a grieving process. I think that we're all going through a little bit now.
Yeah, everyone that's obviously heard in our social circle, and everyone who knows the parties involved, obviously is somewhat distressed. So my character, my avatar, he's always had a certain look. I always rocked the pogo mask with the cigar, the monkey, with a white t-shirt. What's known as a wife beater.
Wife beater, indeed.
Vest.
Yeah, exactly, with no arms. I had a pair of shorts, which was some pinky, like...
Well, it's almost like a tropical beach.
That's right.
But a sunset scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then just finished it off with some socks and sandals, of course.
The classic British look.
That's right. But what kind of made my character slightly more distinct was that from the top of the shoulder to the wrist, he just had no arms at all. He had the hands, but no arms.
So it was like a GTA Rayman.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's a fair analogy of exactly what I look like. And they've given them back, and they did loads of updates. I mean, I've had this issue from the very beginning on the previous generation console.
This is like 2014 October.
Yeah.
From day one, it's just like, wait a minute, I've got no arms. Do I leave that on there?
What I particularly enjoyed was when we upgraded to the next generation console, and I got a higher definition of the arm cavities inside my torso, much better. But yeah, I kind of liked having no arms, so I saved some files, some outfits to say, you know, if in doubt, go back to that file. And yeah, my arms are back now. And
they finally fixed the glitch.
They fixed the glitch, yes.
Yeah.
And,
good old words. Still carrying those weights.
Good old words. Yeah, but it's back. They're back. I'm sad to see them come back. Actually, my character looks bulky now. Looks fatter.
Yeah, it's almost like they've sort of, because you look at over bugs and stuff, ones that affect gameplay, and it's almost they said, hey. If that guy keeps that, he won't ever spend more on clothes. Got to get rid of that one because he won't spend money.
I did go straight to the clothes shop and pimp my shit out.
Prove my point.
Got myself a monkey t-shirt. Okay, so there we are, folks. Another fun-filled week of gaming, and good gaming it's been. So, Link, any final thoughts for you?
We need to wrap up so I can go play some GTA.
Right, straight back on it, earning the cash. From me, all I can say is do get on a bit of Mario Party if you can. It'll be well worth it. I think it's a bloody good game. Cool, so adios from me, and from Link, it's...
Goodbye.